Good afternoon, it's 4 o'clock. This is CJS News. I'm Gwion Ifan. Young farmers in Wales say they are worried about the Welsh Government's proposed reforms to their industry. They say the plans could make it harder for them to make a living. Tom Taylor has the story.
It's an industry on which we all rely. But for farmers across Wales, the future is unclear. Brexit, rising costs, and now new plans by the Welsh Government to make farming more sustainable have been met with protests. For one young farmer in Cardiff, the Sustainable Farming Scheme, which will only give payments to farmers if they offset their production by planting trees, is just not possible for many.
So the land will be decreasing in price, but then all we'll be paid back for that is the price that we are losing, instead of being paid extra for this thing that we are doing for the government, where we will be earning less, or we will have less land to be able to use for agricultural purposes, be able to keep less stock. So in reality, we are losing out still, even though they are paying back for our losses. We are not making a profit off that, where we could have made extra profit in other cases.
But it's not just Ethan who's sceptical about the Welsh Government's proposed reforms to farming. We spoke to other young farmers in Wales who are starting their career on farms like this one. They told us the plan to reward farms which have 10% of their land as tree cover with subsidies would devalue it and make it harder for them to borrow money from lenders. Another said the reforms don't go far enough in helping young farmers who are not born into the industry. Unions say the change of land use could see up to 5,500 farming jobs lost as a direct result of these plans.
The impact assessment that the Welsh Government have released is suggesting that if 100% of farmers in Wales take up this scheme, then we will see a loss of 11% of jobs directly on farms, and 11% works out at about 5,500 people. It will also wipe almost 200 million off the bottom line of farm business incomes. So if you're a young farmer who is looking at a career in agriculture, statistics like that could really put you off.
The Welsh Government says these reforms could change and encourage people to submit their views to the consultation. For farmers like Ethan, clarity can't come soon enough. Tom Taylor, CJS News.
Female doctors are facing increased sexism from patients. This is according to a report by the British Medical Association, which found there has been an increase in both England and Wales. Our reporter Ruby Lewis has more.
Yesterday, the British Medical Journal published an article about sexism that female doctors face in the workplace. But it may surprise you to know that the harassment comes more from patients than it does from the staff. I'm here to speak with Yufa, who's graduating to be a doctor in a couple of months' time, to hear what she has to say.
Yes, so I face sexism quite regularly, actually. I would almost say nearly daily. Patients will often refer to how I look, talk about my body, refer to my name as well, and sexualise it in a way. It's generally not so much a problem with younger patients, but more so much a problem with older patients, and it seems to be a problem that's really normalised, and it's become part of the medical school experience as a young woman, that the patients talk to you about this.
What do you think needs to be done to stop this?
I think that staff need to call out on it. I mean, I count myself lucky that I have had some doctors that have pointed out, but generally on the whole, considering it's so normalised, it's kind of, the patient said this about you, they were flirting with you again, and it's kind of like a running joke in the thing. But I mean, lots of medical students don't find it comfortable, and they find it really awkward, and it can take away from our learning experience.
So I know that particularly in surgery there have been problems with women in the workplace. Men and women do live different realities. The BJS the British Journal of Surgery, put out a study in September saying how women have experienced sexual harassment, assault, and all sorts of other things that you shouldn't have to accept in the workplace.
I think sexism towards doctors and medical students definitely will get better with time, since this is predominantly, I think, an older generation problem, and the younger patients don't generally seem like this is an appropriate thing to do. So I think as time goes on, it will get better.
We contacted NHS Wales for a comment, but they say that it's an issue for the Welsh Government. The Welsh Secretary says the 3,000 jobs set to go at Tata Steel in Port Talbot cannot be saved. David T.C. Davis accused the Labour government of giving steelworkers false hope by claiming the job losses could be reversed. The Welsh Government is calling for one of the blast furnaces to stay open to ease the transition for workers.
There is no other deal that's on offer, unless, I suppose if Fon Gethin went to Target and said, I will cover your losses of £1.5 million a day, and I'll pay for something else. I mean, you know, he needs to actually spell out exactly what his alternative vision is.
Welsh Government cuts to college funding programmes mean students from lower income backgrounds will be hardest hit. Our reporter Twyla Morris has been following the story. So Twyla, what exactly is this scheme and what are the impact of the cuts?
Well, Graham, the Welsh Government Further Education Learning Grant is a bursary aimed at giving Welsh college students up to £1,500 a year to help them into further education. Now, the number of successful applicants has reduced by 42% in the last 6 years. What really stands out from these latest figures from Stats Wales is that it's the students from disadvantaged backgrounds who are being the most affected, with 49% of them less successful to have their application approved than the middle class and upper classes, who are only 42% less likely. Now, obviously this undermines the entire aim of the grant, which is to support those from a lower income, particularly those with less than £18,000 in the household income each year, into those further education. So this is partly for two reasons. This is partly due to cuts of up to £2.2 million from the Welsh Government for the scheme, as well as the eligibility criteria not being changed to meet inflation and the cost of living, meaning more and more students have insufficient funds to cover their living expenses and go into those further education careers. Now, we did contact the Welsh Government for comment, but they didn't have a response as to why they've cut so much and why they haven't updated the criteria.
Thanks, Twyla. The M4 will be closed tomorrow at junction 26 in Newport. The Malpas Viaduct eastbound exit will be closed from 8 AM to 6 PM while essential work is being carried out. Traffic Wales is telling people to expect delays and has advised those travelling to Twickenham to take a different route. People in Roath are concerned that an increase in rubbish has led to more rats in the area. More than 300 rat sightings were reported to the council last year across the city. Residents are blaming a decrease in bins and the current bin strike for the problem. Police visits to schools in Wales will be stopped because of funding cuts. The School Beat Cymru scheme allowed officers to deliver lessons to children, but the Welsh Government is stopping the project to save £2 million per year. The Police Commissioner says he is unhappy about being informed of the cuts so late. In rugby, Wales will face England at Twickenham Stadium tomorrow during the second round of the Six Nations. It's been 12 years since Wales last beat England away from home. But what do the people of Cardiff think of a younger Welsh squad, and how do they think they'll fare tomorrow after their narrow defeat to Scotland last Saturday?
The experienced ones are getting older, and if they don't bring the new ones up, then that'll be the end of it. Once the old ones retire, we've got nobody to take the place.
The fitness that they showed last week, brother, they ran the Scottish boys down into the ground. I reckon they can do the same this week with the English squad. So, yeah, them boys are big.
I've heard is it Daffyd Jenkins?
Daffyd Jenkins.
I've heard he's the new Alan Wynne, so looking forward to watching that.
I think Wales is going to lose against England tomorrow because England is such a strong team.
We're not going for England. Welsh all the way. We're French, so Welsh.
Wales football boss Rob Page feels confident about being successful in the Nations League. The team were picked to play against Iceland, Montenegro and Turkey for their campaign, which begins in September. In ice hockey, Cardiff Devils take on Coventry Blaze at home tonight. The Devils are currently second in their league. Some weather for you now. We'll continue to see cloudy skies this afternoon and into this evening, with a drizzle and a mild breeze at times. Tonight, temperatures will see highs of 11 degrees Celsius and lows of 8 degrees Celsius. And that's all from us at CJS News. Thank you for joining us. Prynawn da. Goodbye.